So here we are, episode 2. What's the mission statement here, bro? What are we trying to achieve?
Giving people some intel on how we dealt with our current investments and the ups and downs in our life. We got ourselves into some very difficult situations, but nothing that we can't handle or nothing that we don't deal with.
Right now, we're sat in a £500,000 Parkstone property. We took this valuation from 265,000, purchased this in August 2023, we started.
Yeah, it helped me grow a lot in a lot of different areas, and coming off the back of this project, it changed me a lot.
I'm a deal maker, and that's kind of always has been my thing for the last 10, 15 years. You're definitely from a much more skilled background, so the two worlds colliding for me and you,
It works.
the aggressive development that you've had over the last 5 years has been monumental.
I thought that being a plasterer was my life and I was set in stone. I needed to accept being that person. And it wasn't until you called me up to come and plaster your house where things kind of changed. You know me, I'm a big helper anyway. Like I'll help anyone if they deserve it at the same time.
And then obviously we kind of had this collaborative effort in some of our projects together, well, pretty much all of them. And now I would say you're involved in pretty much all of my projects and vice versa, which is pretty cool.
I mean, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. If I'm doing it, you're doing it. If you're doing something with somebody else, I don't really want you to do something with somebody else. And I don't want anybody to take the piss out of you, really.
So here we are, episode 2. How did the first episode go down? Did you just say?
How did it go down? Went down really well.
What's the mission statement here, bro? What are we trying to achieve?
Giving people some intel on how we've dealt with our current investments and the ups and downs in our life.
The problem is, son, a lot happens, doesn't it? Wouldn't you say?
A lot. A hell of a lot.
Don't you feel like you're sometimes struggling to keep up every day? But I suppose that's a normal part of growth, a normal part of life, right? Because if you're struggling to keep up with everything that's going on, kind of indicates that, you know, there is growth there. Like growing pains, go to the gym, you know, heavy bench press, take some time out, take some rest and recovery, get some sleeping, get some good food in. Hopefully next week you come up a few pounds, you know, more on the bench. Do you feel that way with this? Do you feel like growing pains?
They're long growing pains. We got ourselves into some very difficult situations, but nothing that we can't handle, nothing that we don't deal with. But as you know, we'll go from one project, kind of like recoup ourselves a little bit, but maybe not all the way, and then jump straight back into something else, and then over leverage ourselves, and then deal with whatever happens after that.
Let's pick up where we left off most recently. So the whole point of this, the whole mission statement, from my understanding and from where we're at, from the conversations that we've had, the mission statement here is to try and convey some real truth and some realism as to what we're doing day to day, because everybody can hide behind just some quick posts on Facebook saying we've done this.
100%.
Or it's kind of
it's easy for people to see on it, like outside looking in. Oh, they've done that. They've done that. Oh,
Yeah.
that looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, how are they doing that? That looks easy. But really, they don't know what
truth.
the
blood.
Or what it took to get there, and how much stress we've been through to get there.
I understand, but right now we're sat in a £500,000 Parkstone property that was. We took this valuation from 265,000. We purchased this in August 2023. We started.
Yeah.
Refurbishment
End of
was-
August we came in, didn't we?
And refurbishment was how long? 8 months?
No, five months to get the whole entire inside done, and we had the external rendering done on the outside.
You and me every day.
We were there every single day.
Remember me complaining about my legs and my back?
I need an R&R day. He wants to go spa every
The
week.
duvet day. That's a joke, all right?
No, they're obviously, you were on a wheelbarrow quite a lot.
The mud, do you remember me with the mud? You were in that, you were obviously doing some, because you're a skilled tradesman, you were doing some skilled work. And I was just wondering, oh, fuck is that?
No, you kept using the wheelbarrow, right? And then it'd come waltzing in and be like, I just want to come see what you're doing, Roger.
I needed some spirit. I needed some positive energy, bro, on the wheelbarrow.
And I'll be like, mate, there's nothing you can do in here because, he's not somebody who can build you a stud wall or, plaster a wall. He's not that guy. So all he was useful for was lumping and bumping.
Yeah.
He was a labourer for
Workout.
5 months.
Yeah, working out, bro.
Yeah.
It was a workout every day.
Yeah.
It was a mental battle by
As soon as 12 o'clock come around, he was like, I'm hungry. Deliveroo.
Roosters, we were eating good.
Who wants Wagamama? But no, it was a very interesting time. I probably moaned a bit through it. Can't lie, I did moan a bit through it, but it helped me grow a lot in a lot of different areas. And coming off the back of this project, it changed me a lot.
We definitely went through some development and some growth because, my background, finance, and essentially, computer work, like finance numbers, getting the deals together, brokering and kind of, I'm a deal maker, and that's kind of always has been my thing for the last 10, 15 years. You're definitely from a much more skilled background. So the two worlds colliding for me and you,
it works.
And we are very much like chalk and cheese in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
So
But there are some similarities with me and you, but there are many differences. I'd say the differences outweigh the similarities between me and you anyway.
Agree.
But it works.
Yeah, of course. And the reason why it works is the underlining brotherhood and transparency and mutual respect. And I'm very lucky to have you in my life.
Appreciate that. Same vice versa.
When I was 30 years old, when we started hanging out together, started being friends, obviously I'm 35 today, as Ryan would probably go.
Happy birthday, boy.
I don't celebrate my birthday, okay? Anyway, yeah, during that time I was basically, I would say, argue pretty much more or less retired at that point. I was at 30. Yeah. I was in a good position. I was fine. I was happy. I was comfortable. And, I was becoming a parent at the time, the first time. So I was pretty much out of the game at that point. I was just having fun with life and just cruising, right? Because I was pretty comfortable. Now going back into the fire aggressively and other things that we have done, there's a lot of growth. And I think, the most that's benefited from the situation or from life or from what we've done the last 5 years is definitely, I would say, you, because the aggressive development that you've had over the last 5 years has been monumental. I just want to show some respect and mention that, because my view of you when we first met was always great. I always referred to you as being, an unkept diamond. I think you had so much potential that you just need to be perhaps shown in the right direction and perhaps shown some doors. I didn't kick you through them. You dragged yourself through them. Yeah. But I would say that I perhaps highlighted some areas for you, and then, you went through all those doors by yourself. So I just want to show some respect. I
appreciate that. And I completely agree. Like when I was on the trial, I was plastering day in, day out. Mm-hmm. I found it very difficult to let go of, that trade, because I thought that was me, innit? I thought that being a plasterer was my life and I was set in stone, and I needed to accept being that person. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until you called me up to come and plaster your house where things kind of changed, and we had a conversation. We kind of like bounced off each other from the initial first conversation we had, and I plastered your house for you. You was in a quite difficult position at the time. Obviously, your girls were on the way, and he was like, is there anything you can do to get this room ready for me? And I was like, mate, I'll put the floor down for free. Yeah, I'll do some bits for free for you just to try and, get your family back in the house. And I think that's where, because you probably never had that done for you. No. You probably never had somebody turn around to you and say, I'll do it for free.
I'm not a big asker, so yeah.
Most people want money. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really see that. I thought, well, he's in a vulnerable position. I should probably go out of my way to help him. Mm-hmm. And try and get his family in there and try and take the stress off you. You know me, I'm a big helper anyway. Mm-hmm. Like I'll help anyone if they deserve it at the same time. Mm-hmm. Of course. But yeah, I just think that it was the right thing for me to do, to build our relationship off of that. And that's why we're still in this position 6 years on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of respect there, and we come from very different my background's quite unique anyway, but we come from very different backgrounds, and the brotherhood over the last 5 years is,
We both never had it.
No.
We've both never had it, but we both had the same views and both wanted that brotherly relationship.
Agreed.
But we didn't have it.
And that's what is very interesting now. Just to give some background, all of my family are in Morocco. It's only me, my mum, my dad here. My dad's jumping back and forth. My mum, same thing, jumping back and forth. I have a very close relationship with my mum. And then my sister came, but sadly my sister died in 2012. So I didn't have that kind of family element. It was very much just me in a lot of cases, in a lot of situations. And then obviously we met, 5 or 6 years ago. I think it's 6 years ago now.
6 years ago, mate.
6 years ago. So a long time, feels like fucking forever.
Yeah.
And then obviously we kind of had this collaborative effort in some of our projects together, well, pretty much all of them. And now I would say you're involved in pretty much all of my projects and vice versa, which is pretty cool to be able to have that relationship with someone.
I mean, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. If I'm doing it, you're doing it. That's how we see it. And if you're doing something with somebody else, I don't really want you to do something with somebody else.
Yeah, and I respect that so much, and I respect you a lot.
It's probably more of a case of me trying to protect you, and I don't want anybody to take the piss out of you, really.
And this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of similarities in us, and I feel exactly the same way. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But when you were through that kind of force field trajectory early on, where I would argue you had a lot of trauma from the past.
100%.
And I would argue perhaps some, let's not go into the specifics, but, you know, not drug related, nothing like that, psychological, because of some traumatic events that had occurred to you previously in a much different time. There was, you know, every week or so, I was turning up at your house, making sure that you were good.
You did.
Because you weren't responding on message. And I was genuinely worried about you.
If anything, I tried to push him away because I felt like I couldn't trust anybody. And I had this like bad, how do I even put this? How do I put this? I just wanted to push everyone away. Like I thought everyone was out to get me, you know? So it was easier for me to like just say, I'm cutting you off because I was so used to that. But you didn't allow that to happen. You used to just rock up at... This is how mad it is. Like, everyone probably thinks that we've been sweet, like, every day from the get-go.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But really, it's took you a lot. It's took you a lot to get my trust. And that's why we're so close. Like, it's so difficult if you're somebody who's been through a lot of the stuff that I have to try and put your trust in people.
I agree. Would you say that that's... Obviously, we've spoken about it, you know, so I know the answer, but... respectfully, would you say that that's because there are times in your life where the people that you should have trusted or were there to provide for you and to support you weren't doing their job?
Yeah, I agree. It's a difficult one to...
Does it stem from there?
It stems from... There's many different areas. It could friendship, family, mum, dad.
Where did it start? What's the...
It would obviously start from childhood.
Okay, but what was the key point in why you have some trust issues?
Just like friends that have not stuck to their word, and people that they're dishonest, they're not transparent, they lie to you, you catch them out.
So key points wasn't the mum and dad situation there? It wasn't childhood?
It's a totally different scenario. That stuff there, I don't know if, it's hard for me to explain it myself. I don't know if that created that sort of like demon in me to be that way towards other people. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it, you know, it's hard, but obviously, we broke that cycle when I was about 29, 28. For the last 3 years, I managed to get myself in a position where I wasn't bleeding on other people and blaming other people. I take some accountability for my actions and the things that I do.
Have you always been accountable?
No.
When was the change?
Over the last 3 years, I'd say, isn't it?
3 years in accountability.
Where, you know, I have you to thank for this guy's relentless. He, you know, pressed me in the corner daily and doesn't not make you speak. You have to talk. Like he has a lot of, you know, knowledge and a lot of answers. He's not a therapist, but he may as well fucking be. He pressed me in the corner and put me in a position where I wouldn't say I was vulnerable, but I had to speak. And he just gave me some solutions on how to stop basically bleeding on other people. And I thank him for that.
That's very emotional.
Don't cry.
Bro, you know, I love you. I'm serious.
Yeah, man.
And I care about you and your family. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is why we've had many heated. We often have. This is the point.
Me and you have been like this, face to face. What are you gonna do? Hit me?
This is the problem. I take words very seriously, and if somebody says I really care about you, that's not simple. If someone says I love you and I care about you, that's not simple. All right, no comments. All right. Especially between men, right? When there's mutual respect there, we have children to look after, we have families to look after. I have multiple families to look after all over the world, okay?
Yeah.
I have people that rely on me. So when I say to someone, or when I say I love you and I care about you, that means my family is extended and I am extended to you. So that means I now have to care about your woman. I now have to care about your children. Because if there's something wrong with your children, there's going to be something wrong with you. So what? So when you say you care about someone, you love someone, where does that stop? Where does that end? Does it end with just you? Well, that means you don't really care about them. So if your wife she turns into an alcoholic, for example, I have to support you and support them.
Yeah.
This is the problem. So when you care about someone and when you love someone, especially when it's the you know, brotherhood, relationship, friendship, whatever it is, this is the problem. It doesn't just stop there. That's why I have a problem with not being able. I can't be everybody's friend. I can't be everyone's best friend. I can't communicate with everyone. There's unread messages, there's unread emails, you know, because I have to prioritize the things that are most important because they're relying on me and I'm relying on them. And that's why often, like some of the staff, for example, some of our staff, we have like 30 staff. Some of our staff, multiple projects, some of our staff will message me at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday and I'll respond to them at 1 a.m. on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll all get a response, they'll all be responded to, they'll all be spoken to, but you can't prioritize. So like, if I'm saying that this is an important priority here, someone's situation doesn't come before that, because now you're having to neglect someone. That's why it frustrates you when I say to you, no, it's in the list. You say to me, bro, we need to do this. I'm like, it's in the list. It's there. We'll get to it.
But sometimes I think it's down to me, so I should probably just learn or take action. Like, that's what I think. Like, with regards to, you know, the situation the other day making the Facebook for the brief, I'm going to go out my own way, because you know how I am. I'm impulsive as hell. I can't sit and wait around for a lot of stuff.
Well, this is why I think you're good at what you do.
Yeah, like if you say, Ryan, I've got X amount of money and you've got this, let's go and do a house. I'll be like, right, let's do it. Get going. How's it going?
Right.
Are you bringing them? Have you called them?
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Yes. Whereas I'm very methodical. It goes into a pipeline. Everything, you know, is incremental units per day, and each thing spends on time.
I'm the fire burning guy. I've got a fire burning inside me all the time.
But this is an argument. This is why we're interested when we get on this. This is what I call God's balance. You can't be someone that is, you know, loves cats. It's like, oh, that's such a cute cat. I love cats. And then be someone who's like really rude to people, mean to people. There's a balance there. You can't be like Jet Li. But
no, there are people like that who love cats and they're horrible.
Yeah, probably. But like, if you were to go and speak to, like, I know, Bruce Lee back in the day, say, Bruce, like, I've actually got a care home. Do you want to come work? And no, Bruce Lee needs to be in the UFC, as an example. Yeah. Mike Tyson is not, like, he's not going to open a care home. Like, he's not going to be a very empathetic guy, you'd imagine. So this is what I call about God's balance. So the fact that you're someone that is so artistic, right? Someone
Could be.
Someone that's so artistic, and the fact that you're someone that is so expressive makes you good at what you're doing. We're going to cut some B-roll in a minute. You're going to take a look at the Airbnb that we're currently sat on. This is pretty much predominantly designed by me and Ryan. When I say me and Ryan, I basically mean Ryan. So it's like the entirety of the property here in this Airbnb. We spoke about it in episode 1. We're now in episode 2. We'll give you a quick walk around in a second. You'll be able to take a look at that.
Like pretty much everything in here, there's no plan. I don't plan anything, which is mad.
Yes.
And that's crazy. I don't do drawings and say, I want it to look like this. It's all in my head. And that's how I've been from the start. Rachid, at the start of me meeting him 6 years ago, was like, do you want me to draw a CAD design? And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. It's just something I don't do. Even to this day, I don't use a calendar to work my day out. It's not how I am. Even though he tries to make me do that, I don't do it. We're two totally different people. I expect him to call me up and say, right, you've got a meeting in 30 minutes. That's what I expect. But like everything in this property you'll see now, basically just designed off the top of the head.
So we did this project. Like I said, we took it from 265,000, took it all the way up to 450,000 was most recent valuation. I won't get into the math or get into the numbers now, but that's a project that pretty much anyone can do. We've also launched Direct Trades. Direct Trades is a solution-based company where you may have a home improvements company, a home improvements project, and you want to be able to enhance your property's value. So you may want a new kitchen, you may want a new roof, you may want any of these things. We essentially do it all in Direct Trades. Ryan's pretty much the main man of that project. He's concentrating day to day mainly on that project at the moment. So this is why we have this kind of situation where we can show you and highlight to you some of the advantages of working with a company like Direct Trades and taking your property from, for example, 200, 300, or being in a position where it's a full refurb, purchasing at 265,000, taking it all the way to 450,000. That's the kind of value that we can add to a project. And obviously Ryan's here to be able to help you with those projects. So anything you want to talk about Direct Trades?
Yeah, with Direct Trades, obviously we want to offer you every single trade under one roof, very trusted trades, not people like, I'm not calling up a checker trade or trying to go around trying to find anybody. These are generally builders and people that I know in this local area that are very trusted. These are the people that, you know, they're at the top of their game and they will do the best job that you'll probably get in this whole town. I know I'm talking a lot here, like, you know, I'm raising the bar here, but I've experienced it I wouldn't use anybody that's, not so trusted or not used or not recommended to me. I wouldn't just pick somebody out the air. I can't do that. It would drive me crazy. You can literally just call me and I'll deal with every situation for you.
So effectively speaking, you're taking all of the guesswork, all of the hardship, all of the problems, and you're embodying that in one project.
Yeah.
So that client can come to you and say, Ryan, I have a situation here where I need a new roof. Can you assist me with that? And you're going to manage that from start to finish?
Yes.
What about extensions?
Everything. This business is different to somebody who just calls themselves a builder, because a builder would do everything, right? But the quality isn't really there.
No, agreed.
A builder's a builder that should be just, putting blocks up and maybe doing some minor extensions or some little odd jobs or whatever. I don't think when you see a builder van driving around, it's got we do plastering, extensions, this, and it's a one-man band. It's not really a trusted company. How can somebody be at the top of their game in every single sector?
So we have over 2 decades of experience. You've been doing this since you was a baby.
Yeah.
Right, I've been doing this for a while too. So both projects here, both ideas here come with massive upside, in particular for the client. Because if you want to take a property and increase it in 60, 70% in GDV at the end of the project, we've done that. We've done that multiple times. We've done that for other people. We've done that on our own portfolios, and we've done that internationally.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for quite some time. So with direct trades, there's a little, next episode, perhaps you'll see someone else joining us.
It's big.
And then we can maybe make a little launch.
We've got something in the pipeline that it's not to be expected. Like nobody's going to expect it.
No, locally, no.
No, I don't think anyone's going to expect it, and it's. I think it's going to be amazing, and the plans that we have going forward to implement him into the business, as well as where we're going to be located and what we're going to be doing, it's pretty big, mate.
So, mission statement. The idea of this, again, is to convey what's going on in our lives, what's going on economically in the world, in the UK, and in particular in Bournemouth Pool.
Yep.
The local Dorset as a whole. And this will give us an opportunity. I think from the next episode, we should provide something of value to our listeners and to our viewers, because we don't know where this is going to go, right? So, we're going to be inviting on a guest every single month. Our first, we're not going to say who the guest is for now, but you'll see. The next episode will be at Blend. We're shooting that today too. And then this is a big content day for us. And then the third or fourth episode will be in Morocco. So we're taking all the equipment with us. We're going to have a conversation there too about some plans, about some things that we have in the pipeline.
And there will be somebody coming on there in Morocco in that episode,
right,
where we will speak about what we're doing.
Great. And I also want to end each episode with a lesson. Okay, and we're going to start that next time. Right, so we're going to have the whole week. We're pretty much going to shoot once a week, episodes every week. That's what we're trying to aim for. Guests once a month. And I want a lesson. Could be a quote, could be a conversation, just something for the viewer to take with them to the next episode, something to think about. Perhaps this one should be about friendship and should be about brotherhood, but we'll get onto that next time, because there's going to be a lot of episodes that we're shooting every week, 4 episodes a month, right? So we'll have time for that. But I think it'll be a great opportunity to be able to give some piece of information, some piece of knowledge with them to the next one, because we've done lots of things. I would say that we're getting in a bit, especially me as it's my birthday, we're getting a bit, getting some grays here and there, getting some wisdom here and there. But I'm super excited. And there's enough business now. I want to get to social, right? I'm super excited for you to be coming to Morocco for the first time. It's your first time in Africa. I'm bringing you to the motherland. I'm super excited. What are you expecting here? I want to know. Like, oh, sheep's head, lamb's head. What are you expecting? Right, just Ryan. Obviously, he's not a real racist. Ryan's an undercover racist. Okay?
A real racist.
Obviously, I'm his best friend. Okay, obviously, right. This is something that's said about us in this town, right? People have said things about you and me. Okay, people have said things about you and me, right? Let's have it out, right? People have said stuff.
Like,
I don't want to get into it. Get into it right now. But look, people have said things about us, and people have said things about you specifically and me specifically.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're hanging out, because I don't think you put me and you together.
Yeah, those guys that are doing, 150 hours a week in a salon together trying to make payroll, are those guys doing some mad shit. And that ain't happening, because I wouldn't be sat in a salon for 150 hours a month if I was doing that.
Yeah, doing extracurricular activity.
Yeah, I don't know where that narrative comes from, but I've had to face it a few times on a night out, and it's weird. Or whatever people have said about you, and I've had to be like, what are you going on about? Where's that come from? So I just heard it from, next guy or this guy. He said that.
I do understand though, because there's a couple of things, like, let's not name any names specifically, but like there is an element of mystery because I'm not, you never see me go to like a normal job. Like in my culture, in my family in particular, my first ever lesson in business was my grandfather in Casablanca. It's where my family are from. My family still resides. So, all the stop the boats and all that kind of chat that's going on at the moment in the UK. The world or the state would have you believe, and this is why I think it's important for this kind of culture lesson that you're about to have when you go to Morocco next week, is that the world would have you believe that anybody can come into the UK easily. And bearing in mind, I do think we have an illegal immigration issue here in the UK 100%. I have a personal problem with that. I think it's wrong. I came to this country legally, as did my mother and my father. My grandfather on my father's side, petty officer Thomas Phillips, World War II vet. Here he goes. World War II vet, went to World War II, fought the Nazis, all that kind of stuff.
You don't know how many times I've heard that. That's why I'm pulling faces.
It's very important, right? Both my grandfathers are very important to me. So my grandfather on my father's side was white, obviously, and spoke perfect English. One of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my entire life, still to this day. Taught me so many lessons growing up, taught me how to read, how to write, because my mum and my father are both illiterate, okay? They can barely read and write.
But his mum's an amazing woman.
Thank you so much, bro.
Love her.
Appreciate it. Very close to my mum. But she can't read or write. So my grandfather was like, look, Rachid and my sister at the time, you guys are going to both have to work really, really hard here because your mother and father can't read and write. So we're going to have to basically grow up a little bit faster, perhaps. So lots of English, perhaps that's why the way I speak, the way I do, because he taught me how to speak. He also taught me how to read, how to write, because I wasn't the best student at school, okay? I think one year I had the worst, I think maybe for several years, I had the worst occupancy? Attendance, worst attendance of any student. I just had this is another conversation for another time, but I just had, growing up, I had this kind of, there's a lot of things going on there. So yes, so my granddad taught me how to speak, how to read and write. He taught me lots of things, taught me math, everything, algebra, everything, kind of did lots of education because he knew that I wasn't going to school and nobody was making me go to school, right? My mum and dad, my dad wasn't around too much and my mum, it was just, me and my mum.
Held the fort.
Pretty much. And my sister was, she was taken by the military, the MOD, the army, took her from the age of 14. She went to Welbeck College. Again, that was mainly pushed by my grandfather on my dad's side. And then she went to Welbeck. Then she went to Newcastle University, got a master's degree. And then she went to Sandhurst, Royal Military Academy. Sandhurst became an officer and then became a captain. So my sister wasn't around too much either. So it was basically, from a young age, just me and my mum. And I was, in my culture, again, I called the shots in my household with my mother in particular. So I was explaining to her that I didn't want to be this, academic guy. I wanted to be someone that did business and ran business. And she found it difficult to argue with me because the main example that I had was my grandfather, which was her dad. So both grandfathers were very influential in my life. So my grandfather on my mother's side, that was the first lesson in business. He had a hole in the wall in Casablanca, basically like apartments, block of flats in the bottom of it was literally just literally a square, like a kiosk. And that's where my grandfather worked. And he had so many, just buying and selling, basically. He was just making moves and just trying to provide for his whole family. And this was what inspired me to start business when I was at that age. I learned lots about business and in Morocco kind of took that kind of with me to where I'm at in the position I am today. So that was a massive part of my life. And we've been best friends. Well, we have been best friends for 5 years, coming up 6 years, I think. Now you're coming with me to Morocco. I'm interested in what you think it's going to be like and what you think is going to happen.
Really looked it up other than sending you pictures of sheep.
So day one, we're going to get there. We're going to land, pick up the car. We're flying from Heathrow straight to Casablanca. Day one, we're going to get there. And then we're going to have family, as you're going to see in Morocco, right? We're going to land. We're going to go to my aunt's house. She's an incredible cook.
I'm looking forward to that because you know me.
Love scran.
Not just that, but anything to do with another culture, I'm all for it.
Great.
If she makes me food, I'll happily eat it.
Great. Well, there's going to be about 20 people, all in a really small room, all around a round table.
Got any spare,
Shalabas, yeah? No. Round table. And a big round plate. And everybody has to eat off the same plate, basically using your hands. You'll get stuck in. Yeah, so I'm excited for this for you. And then
Hopefully we'll wash our hands first.
see what I'm talking about? And then day 2, we're going to be in Casablanca. Day 3, we're driving to Marrakesh. Maybe have some fun. Day 4, with some bikes, some cool bikes.
I'm looking forward to it because obviously we're going to be filming out there a lot and doing some activities and riding motorbikes, having a laugh, a lot of fun, a lot of shit chat.
And we have a special guest joining us.
We do. And that's going to be very interesting because he's not somebody who's really, opened up on camera or been prodded on camera. So he's going to have to talk. So we'll get some answers out.
Some little nuggets, yeah. We're going to press him.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, cool. So we've got some more shooting to do today. Got some more splits to do. You're going to see some B-roll. You're going to take a look at the Airbnb here. You're going to take a look at the property here. It is available to rent. It's pretty much available most weekends from next year. I think we're booked up at the minute. October's quite heavy. There are some spaces in the weekend of November. Here, you have a 3-bedroom property, 10 minutes away from Sandbanks. You have a cold plunge, sauna, hot tub, some of the best amenities in any Airbnb in Dorset at the moment. Parking outside. Anything you want to add on the Airbnb situation?
I mean, it's open to anybody. So it doesn't matter who you are or, who you want to bring. You're more than welcome. You can do fitness, you can do yoga, you can chill with your family, all that stuff.
It's a perfect property.
It's open to anybody. So if you want to come here and relax and chill, you're more than welcome.
The Airbnb listing is live. It's down in the description. I'll leave a link in there. You can take a look at the Airbnb listing, take a look at something for you. And send us a message. If we can get something in time, we'll think about it collectively. Something that you like. Cool.
All right, nice.
Watch off.